ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? I'm One Man as usual, and today we're going to continue the mini-series of Which One Did It Better? And if you don't know what that series is, it's basically where I take a concept where multiple facets, games, companies, etc., and I take them and I compare them, and which one wins out. Which one wins out on a set of prerequisites and based on the premise. And, well, quite frankly, I've already made 2 of them, and I'll probably just link them in the end cards, so go ahead and just go and check them out. Or I might just put them in the cards in the top right corner of your video screen here. Right here, roughly. Alright, so let's delve into it. Today's Which One Did It Better video is a discussion video on Megadimension V2 versus V2R. Which one did it better? Now, you might think that this is actually a no-brainer, that Megadimension V2 is so infinitely better that V2R cannot compare. And while I definitely see your perspective and slightly agree on it, I can actually at least provide a decent case. You see, the biggest strength in V2R is probably within their menu design. Because in their menu design, in their leveling design skill sets, it combines kind of, a lot of traditional prior games that had somewhat superior mechanics like Mark II. It incorporates that same strategy menu like Mark II, but does it infinitely better. And it takes things like, basic customization for V2 and makes it better. That being said, one of the biggest frustrations I think everybody agrees on is that it's an over-glorified DLC. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys are all tired of that. I know you are. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of Compile Hire and Idea Factory rebooting shit. I mean, that's kind of your fault considering the demand for the Rebirth series, but that's a different story. Basically what, V2R does is it takes the menu setup from Mark II, it polishes it up, and enhances it immensely. And as far as menu interfaces go and city interfaces go in the game, miles better. There's no compare. However, there's a lot of things Megadimension does right that I'm going to give it credit for. First of all, there's no fucking weeby VR scenes that I don't give a shit about. I know that's going to trigger some of you. It has the, integrity factor of the fact that it's the original story and programming. I mean, you can't really just edit in a couple new cutscenes, add in a couple CGs, change it up the CGs to fit your convenience, and call it a separate game. However, V2 also has some of the best DLC in the Neptunia franchise, because it's probably got the best 3 makers of all time, character-wise anyways. Best 3 God Eater Chan, which is not even really a maker. She's not really a maker now that every time this topic is brought up, I keep thinking to myself, she's not a maker. Makers in the Neptunia lore are companies. They're companies that literally make, games like these. Idea Factory and Compile Heart are makers. Nitro Plus is a maker. But Million Arthur and God Eater are game franchises. So I would consider them on the same level as Human, as they don't really have any other established role. See, to be a maker, you have to have, a history as a game developing company. You cannot call yourself a maker just because you have any famous title attached to it. You have to be an actual game developer or game publisher. That's how makers work. I mean, this is even further proven with Mages because of the Steins Gate franchise and all the references. My point being is simple. Most we got was some generic, item enhancements and cyber dimension weapons in V2R. That's all we really got. I mean, for fuck's sake, we didn't even get the three characters who made that game extra fun. By the way, one man for V2R campaign. The hashtag lives. Anyways, in order for V2R to stand out from the pack, from V2, is within DLC characters. Because otherwise, they're just not going to be looked at as its own original creation. V2R has a hurdle that it needs to overcome. And the only way to overcome the shackles it places itself under is to have DLC stories. Preferably through postgame, as their new save system kind of makes it difficult. Makes it a bit difficult to buy it as a separate story. As it is, it's just DLC with DLC. That being said, it still has a superior interface. I also kind of prefer the text boxes more too. The design gets a pretty decent overhaul. However, there's just a lot of things V2 does right, and V2R does wrong. Also, the story itself. Oh yeah, that's what else. It's the trophy list too. The trophy list is honestly better in my opinion. And I don't like the fact that most of your trophies in V2R were rank challenges and bounty hunts. Oh, speaking of which, that goes into the other thing that I was mentioning. I forgot it again. Give me a second. Oh yes, difficulty. Because the trophies for V2R are so damn easy that it brings up another very, very difficult problem that V2R faces. And it's this very reason why V2R really doesn't stack up to the original. It has probably nothing to do with the story. It definitely has nothing to do with the interface because it has a superior interface. And it has nothing to do with anything else. It has to do with difficulty. Difficulty is the game killer because of one feature. Now, one feature is that in V2R, you heal every time you complete a battle. Now, in the previous Neptunia titles, when you enter a dungeon, you have to actually exit out of the dungeon to heal. You, as a whole, cannot heal in a dungeon. And I don't know if you'll really understand the implications of this, because this is kind of a difficult thing for a lot of people to process. But the whole point of not healing every time you finish a battle, there's a reason for it. The reason why you should not heal your characters after a battle is it takes away the sense of difficulty. Part of the fun of dungeon exploring is the tension. That's the only appeal of random boss or random monster spawns. It's to help build tension to event bosses and event scenes. It doesn't make any difference if all the time you can easily just beat all the monsters that fight you and then never expect to have any wounds afterwards. It is the dumbest mistake I think Idea Factory and Compile Heart made with V2R. You should not and cannot expect people to believe that you have value in your game if you take away the main source of tension. You cannot expect me to play V2R and shell it out with some of the most hollow BS possible. You cannot sell me off on bad mechanics, taking away tension, changing up a couple cutscenes and adding in a couple CGs and a bunch of weeb nonsense and call yourself a game. You are an overglorified DLC. That is the main factor. It doesn't matter really if the story isn't new. It doesn't even matter really anything else. Albeit those are still egregious problems in of itself. It is that very difficulty alone that would probably be just the one thing that could have separated it. Why is it... You know what? No, actually, I know exactly why. I know exactly why they go with these low difficulty scrub missions, these scrub games of Neptunia. It's because of all of you. You are the ones who ask for this. The moment Rebirth 1 through 3 came out, you were praising it like it's fucking Jesus on your fucking Christmas day while having sex with Santa because you got easy fucking transitions, aka easy mechanics. Holy fuck, are you guys fucking retarded at times? Like, some of you, I understand, I'm fine with that. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but you're not going to sit there and tell me Rebirth was a good set of mechanics when they were so heavily flawed by how easy they are. You guys will just buy random shit that you know you're going to hate, and this has been proven again and again in movies as well, no matter how bad it is. And woe and behold, holy crap, are both the Neptunia franchise and superheroes and movies all gone to shit. At this point, I am more interested in NepQuest than I will ever be in Brave Neptunia. In the end, I was looking forward to V2R to fight the dark CPUs up close. I wanted this legendary fight experience. And instead it's just a bunch of weird nonsense. Like, I get it, you love your waifus, but that's part of being the fiction. Don't make a game off of that base that, validates headcanon. It is the dumbest idea and is a cheap way to just pander and not put in any effort because like a fucking drug. Like, it's this attitude that telegraphs and communicates to Compound Heart and Idea Factory that they don't have to try. And whether you like to admit it or not, that's both toxic and a problem. You are the reason why Idea Factory says that they're just not going to do it. And it is you, the customer, the consumer, who has to tell them to change. Starting with voting with your wallet. And you probably should have done this a long time ago. Do I personally buy all the Neptunia games? Yeah, I do. But welcome to my fucking channel. That is the main crux of what my channel is about. It's purely fucking business at this point. Like, at this point, I feel more out of an obligation as a fan, because I've been an Idea Factory Compound Heart fan for a long time. Maybe, I believe it was 2009, where I discovered Ogress because someone was playing it on the achievements list. And Ogress is this wonderful franchise that was kind of the predecessor, not officially, but sort of the predecessor on the compile art Idea Factory business end rather than a story ripoff of like Trinity Universe. But as a flagship, Ogress was there to set the foundations. Oh, and funny enough, Yellow Super Nintendo said, in one of his videos about the worst Neptunia game, which he got inherently wrong, by the way, that he said that, what was it he said? What does it say? Let's see. Backtrack a bit. Oh, fucking, I'm gonna have to edit this, and I hate that. Oh, that's what it was. He's mentioning all this, like, asset flipping and all this other issues with the original Neptunia game, which, by the way, is no cause alone on its singularity to, call it the worst game. Also, yeah, I've decided I'm gonna make a fourth video calling out the Yellow Super Nintendo. Anyways, with that being said, I find it funny that he mentions the asset flipping and doesn't mention the fact that we get low-res Ogress backgrounds in Neptunia. Yeah. That sidetracked story aside, back to, V2R and V2. The fact of the matter is, even across the board, V2 was widely, highly acclaimed, and for good fucking reason. V2R is just trying to capitalize upon that same magic. Everybody is stuck either in these feminist, victim cultures, these victim echo chambers, or just insufferable jackasses who want to just, as Randy Marsh put it, have something really nice plumped into our tummies. And that's what V2R is. It's just a bootleg, rehash, shitpost, reboot, retooling, expansion pack over glorified DLC, complete and utter shite that is a facade for a lack of effort. In the end, does it even matter? Does it even matter if you make V2R? Wouldn't you be better invested in, say, I don't know, DLC, more of it, while maybe try to get some fucking ad revenue and print more copies of the game physically and maybe sell more limited editions? But no, you're gonna go and spend even more money on a pointless project. Like, it boggles my mind to see people doing these redundant, stupid shit. In the end, I have no idea how you people think. Not the consumers, not the creators. The creation department, the direction department, the story department have all declined since Megadimension V2. V2R was trash. Cyber Dimension was trash. Decent looking trash. But just because it's a shiny piece of shit doesn't mean it's not a piece of shit. That being said, I hope you're not fucking triggered. Anyways, back to what I said. Even if you were to ignore the difficulty, which I would consider the game killing, the game set match problem, it's just a inferior game. No matter, now that I think about it, no matter how superior the experience is of V2R, if it keeps the same story, it's just a fundamental problem. It is a fundamental inferiority. Like, there's just no morality to it. But this is what you guys wanted. This is what you guys voted for with your wallets. This is what happens when you give good PR to people who don't deserve it. But in the end, I'm just a guy on YouTube rating a bunch of Neptunia games. So, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, most of you do that anyways. That being said, I think I've covered everything I wanted in this video. And I think I'm going to work on another video next. Probably, you know, a response video to Yellow Super Nintendo. So, you know, look forward to it. Now, don't forget to leave a like, and, you know, leave a like, subscribe if you are new, click that bell to make sure you are notified of my content. Comment in the comment section, because I'm sure you guys all disagree with me on so many fundamental levels. And some of you may just agree with me on the levels of V2R. You may disagree with me on, like, you know, opinions on what the worst Neptunia game is, or how much I disagree on, you know, Yellow Super Nintendo's own, Yellow Super Nintendo's own personal opinion on what is the worst. But in general, you know, I'm sure we all agree that in this case, on both a difficulty, trophy, you know, story originality, integrity levels, there's just no contest here. I mean, I can, you know, argue a better interface all I want, but that's still, in the end, subjective. And I can put all the arguments I can, but that's just, the base argument is, you just don't, you know, you just don't do it. You can't do it. You cannot say V2R is superior to V2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you comment, you subscribe to me if you're new. Follow me on Twitch at OneManCast, at Twitch at OneManCast346. What else? Oh yeah, and make sure to consider, you know, supporting my work. You know, making a living off of this would be very nice. Let's see. I mean, yeah, I mean, it would be nice. I think that, you know, me trying to build a business, doing what I enjoy doing, sounds like a pretty cool notion, right? I mean, Uzume is always pursuing dreams and empowering people to do just as she does. So, you know, I'll leave that off on a positive note. So yeah, consider supporting me on Streamlabs and on Patreon. I'll probably leave the links in the description. That being said, though, yeah, I'd say this has been a pretty fun video. And I'm probably just going to work on the Yellow Super Nintendo. You know, contradiction. Because I think I have a respectful disagreement. Ladies and gentlemen, I am one man. Oh yeah, Samina Sai.